Hi, I'm Rick.
Hi, I'm Oscar.
Oscar, in Betatalks, I think it was episode 6, we talked about Azure Front Door and a first look at that service. But I think a lot has changed in the meantime.
Well, indeed, we saw at Ignite in the book of news a small reference, and it said Azure Front Door now available for preview. And I felt it was already in preview, but it triggered me enough to check out what is the state of the service.
Okay.
Here on my screen, you see the actual note I found in there, and it references another website, and it has the statement: Azure Front Door enhances secure cloud CDN with intelligent threat protection.
That wasn't in there before.
Well, there are a few options there that are a bit different indeed, and because I think it's a service I don't see much around me. It is also not a service for everyone.
No, true.
You don't need this all the time. But for some projects, it can be a killer feature that are now, well, let's say, done in a different way. And there were some multiple options in the past.
Yep.
But I think Front Door is the way to go if you want to go for a full multi-region application. If you're building SaaS with multi-tenants.
And global distribution. And
yeah, we're talking about, for instance, Cosmos DB. We have global distribution and we have multiple write locations. And it's all cool, but you cannot deliver your requests from your clients to the correct spot, then you have a problem. So if you just run a web app, for instance, and then your endpoint is, I don't know, in Holland or somewhere in Europe, or then from the US, there's some delay there. So recapping, Azure Front Door, what it does is it's actually a service in front of your services, which helps you reduce latency and complexity. So what you can do is actually create some web farms behind it.
Yep.
So you say, like, well, I deployed my app here, and I deployed it in US, and I deployed it in, I don't know, Asia somewhere, or Africa, or wherever my customers are. You don't want to give them a different URL. So you put those behind Azure Front Door. And what happens then is it will connect through even points of presence stuff, but to the nearest endpoint.
Yeah.
From there, it stays on Azure. So there's also no routing inter-country. Like it's the Azure network. Next to that, if you have an app running there and it connects to Cosmos, it will also be set up to connect to the closest node.
Okay.
So also your latency there, because we are limited by something called speed of light as a maximum theoretic option there. But it is quite a distance, so you don't want to add milliseconds for these kinds of services. And we have it all, and we're talking about Cosmos and all those things. But to really complete this setup and make it work like an Office 365 or Microsoft 365 as it's supposed to be called now, you can do this. You can, like with a, well, I wouldn't say really tiny budget, but as a normal company, this is available. You can go Netflix style. you can create a service like that. And we're always talking about the setup, but that front, how do you arrange your traffic? You need a service, and there are alternatives. But for now, diving into a Front Door again to see what is the difference.
Okay, so has it changed a lot, or is it still a combination of several Azure services providing Front Door as a whole?
The basics of this thing is kind of the same as I see it, but there are two ways, because it was a bit complicated to set up, or two different SKUs at the moment, like a standard and a bit more premium, let's say that.
Yeah, that's an addition, right?
So
we didn't have that.
So the setup is different. I'm going to guide you through it. We have CDN, but we also have the web application firewall.
Yeah.
That's in Azure somewhere. You can put up, set a profile in there. You can connect it. It has some more dashboarding. So we're going to click through it because it looks a bit different than it used to. And it seems a bit more done.
Okay.
So,
well, I'm curious.
Because this grew out of internal services at Microsoft, right? They just
probably
productized it.
Yeah.
But now they're going to the next step. So definitely
show us.
So on this, and we'll share the link, is everything a bit explained what I'm going through, a bit more detail than I'm doing now. First of all, if you want to create an instance, the setup has changed. So if you want to create something new and you would type front door in the Azure portal, I clicked yesterday, clicked this one because I was used to that one. I got the old setup and everything.
Oh wait.
But oh wait, look, there's a front door standard premium preview. So this is the new, let's say, onboarding.
Okay.
In the back, most of the service is probably the same, but this will help you choose your scenario.
Okay.
So it's cool to check this out. So I'll say, well, we'll create this one. And then you say, I want front door standard premium.
Okay.
One of those new options. That's a quick create. You can customize some things there so that you get some additional questions. But you from here, and probably more offerings with like competitive offerings on Azure will start having this, I think. Because you can say, well, here, just check your scenario because you're looking into this product. But if you want to host a static website or a static web page, you can go front door, fine. It's also recommended because you went this route.
Yeah.
But isn't this what you want?
Okay.
So it is an interesting way of not just getting the service in that you ask for, but just informing the person, like there's something else for this and it might be a better or cheaper option.
It really guides you into selecting the right tool for the job.
Isn't that great?
Well, this actually means that they're not trying to upsell anything. They're just trying to give you the best.
No, there's still a pre-selection there. But
okay.
Okay. No, but indeed, like I think this is a great way of showing and guiding people because knowing this, like, oh, someone told me to use this, but there's an alternative.
Yep.
Step back, read into it, check out what you actually need.
Yeah. And then what scenarios are there available currently?
So in this set, it says do something with caching or API,
Okay.
like and like for now, it looks like the offerings because are kind of the same. Media streaming, and then you see that Verizon is actually recommended.
Okay.
Because it's better in this case, the CDN, or just downloads. Well, and for most it looks like it's going to front door, but I think the idea of having this, and we probably also want to have this, look at the ways you can create containers in Azure.
Yeah.
The different services out there. Like it would be nice to have like, I want to do something with containers and then go through
Something
onboarding like this. Yeah. So that's first thing I found out. Then, and just also to save time in this talk, I created one that is the standard premium, and it's set to premium at the moment. If you ever use the other one, you see immediately that there's some difference here in how it's displayed.
Yeah.
With the endpoints, and you can do path routing and all kinds of things there.
Yeah, I think we used to have 3 big lists, and then you needed to add stuff
Yeah.
in the list.
And that's still there. That's in the endpoint manager. It's also slightly different, but that's also there. So go to that one. This is it's loading them. So what you can do here, this looks like the old list. So you have a domain, just endpoint incoming, and you want to spread it out because you can do this for multiple things. Like there's the site there, there's the SDK endpoints there, or whatever. So you can also add multiple, do all kinds of. These are the groups that are backing this up. For instance, this has now one app service in it.
Yeah.
This is the route, like what goes where, and this could be based on ports or paths or wildcards, all kinds of things there.
Yeah, but still, this is different than what we were used to, because that's actually something that threw me off with the initial front door. It says front end, back end.
Yep.
But then back end is actually the application that runs your front end, that you want to have your front end, which is
from the front door perspective, it made sense. This is in the front of the door, and this is on the back of the door.
Yeah,
but this your back end goes here. Yeah, but where does my front end go? No,
no, your back end's your front end, but your front end's your domain. What?
Well, that one.
Okay.
So there's some naming issues solved, I would say. Also helps you onboard and pick out, like, well, if you just want this, then this is your setup. I'm not going into the paths and the maps. I think we checked that out last time.
Yeah.
What you can also see on the security here is it says test. I linked it to something. This is the web application firewall policy. That's managed separately in your Azure subscription. You have a policy somewhere, and you can map it to this thing.
Yeah.
So we might be able to see that later. What's also, and that was in there, but what they optimized, because you can connect, this is the place where you connect your domain, right?
Yeah.
But we had the limited options, like this is your domain, put a CNAME there, resolve if it's there, and like if you didn't do that in sync, you might have to wait for a while. They optimized it. You can just put a text record in, you get instructions, or you create it.
Yeah.
And then it says, well, it's not resolved or not confirmed yet. You click it, you create a text record. It's also in that link that I have there. That's really optimized.
Okay.
Because that was tricky. Next to that, if you want SSL, just click it. Included in the pricing is the rotating self-made certificate there. Yeah, never have to worry about it again.
Yeah, and that's also, I think, it's in line with the fact that we now have decent solutions for Let's Encrypt throughout, I think, the entire Azure, well, I wanted to say stack, but that's something different.
Yeah. It's not using the Let's Encrypt ones. I think they're...
no, but I wanted to say...
like the same kind
of, because we have Let's Encrypt and we have free certificates for everybody, mm-hmm. I think it's, not more than fair that it's just included.
It's something that needs to be there. You cannot offer a service, like even think about it, how much non-HTTPS do you see. Yeah. So that became better. Well, the rule sets that we talked about, like I also have a separate selection now, so you can create them yourself with conditions, and it says, well, extensions, things with query strings. Like, they got a bit more sophisticated, mm-hmm. Because it was really hard sometimes to see like what kind of notation do I use, how to test them.
Yes.
It felt a bit tricky, and you needed to really know some things. If you look further, what we also see, because we were looking into security and those analytics are now in here. I don't have much data in here for now because I just set this thing up. But the application firewall policy that you have will add some data here if you have any issues there. The OWASP top 10 and stuff are all included by default.
Okay. Nice.
We can check the settings out there later. Next to that is also a report of usage of this your whole application firewall.
Oh, but this is a lot of useful information.
This is actually the information that makes most sense from this perspective. It's like what is happening, and where is my traffic coming from? Where is it redirected? Is all kinds of interesting.
Yeah, and what are the response codes? And
yeah, so you can check out usage. You see what I threw some data in it, not too much. You see response codes indeed. Some nice overviews. Traffic by location is a very nice one.
Cool.
I might have used the service to connect to it from everywhere, just for once.
Nice.
So you get top list, like where's the country coming from, and what is the data transferred between those. Yep. So you're really seeing it's doing its work, because that also was a bit. You set it up. It's like, I think it's working. It's like that was it.
Probably nobody's complaining.
And for service, this fake and like transparent on the front, like you really want to know like what is it doing and why. Yeah. It helps you grasp the concept also to explain someone else. Like we use this for this, to give insight of what's happening. But also if some region goes down, you will definitely start seeing it here.
Yes.
So this is all good. You see cache hits. You can check out also like what is direct and what is cached. You have some policies there to set up. It's like, do you want to cache everything that's static, or ignore the query string even, or not?
And does this also include the CDN stuff?
This is the internal cache hit. I don't have enough metrics to determine that at the moment to see if it's. But I'm guessing yes.
Yeah, because I was curious if it does. It probably does the same as Azure CDN, mm-hmm. where you target the CDN endpoint to be serving you an image, and if it's not there, it goes to the origin, it gets it from there, puts it in cache, and gives it back to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it goes through that and leaves it behind in the cache.
Yeah.
Talking about CDN and cache, one of the interesting topics here is that you can have those private endpoints in Azure Front Door, so maybe internally in your company, but you can keep them private and run through the cache at the moment, or run through the CDN. So you have a public endpoint exposed, but you won't get the hits from public because it's still behind somewhere in your own data center.
Okay, that's powerful.
So that is a new option that I also saw there. So this is a really specific service targeted at not your side of the local bakery, let's say that.
Probably not.
But it is super powerful. And it grew up a bit.
Yeah.
So after revisiting it in, I don't know, a year and a half at least.
Yeah, something like that.
So yeah, I'm for some project that I was doubting or solve this in another way. We didn't need it yet. Looking at the pricing, it said that the standard was, I think, like $14 a month, and the premium was $150. So the pricing is not too bad actually for a service like this.
If I'm not mistaken, then you get charged extra for more than X rules and more than X.
I didn't see
WAF
that.
policies.
That was one of the things in the old setup.
Yeah.
If you put more rules in there, more than 5, you would pay per rule like a couple of euros or whatever per month. I haven't seen this anymore. And yeah, so it looks like a more straightforward offering with the standard and premium, like you have service bus and stuff like that, with a lot more included. And there's of course the traffic, because CDN is all costing money.
Sure.
But it seems like a more straightforward service to use. It's more done. And I didn't see the limit anymore, or about the amount of rules, because 5 rules were really... Like if you're using a service like this, you need more than 5 rules. Otherwise, why are you using the service? That was my idea, because I had a lot of endpoints to put together. And this is a out of the box, super powerful, scalable reverse proxy, like with simplest form.
A lot of extras.
Yeah, just having your certificates managed in one place and everything behind the domain. Like,
cool.
Yeah.
Looks awesome.
Looks awesome, right? So if this is interesting, you're building huge microservices, global availability. This is one of those services that needs to be on your options list at least.
Cool. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks for watching.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.